Big question for you. Do you find OP anime characters fun to watch, or do they take some of the enjoyment out of an anime for you? I can understand both sides, but the real question now becomes, who is the most overpowered anime character that has ever overpowered in the history of overpoweredness? One Punch Man? Dio? Someone else? Let's discuss. Mob Psycho 100 is fantastic. It's one of my favorites. Anyways, Shigeo, aka Mob, is a kid just trying to avoid trouble and live a quiet life. He's one of the most overpowered beings ever, but what I love about him is that he tries so hard to not use his powers because he wants to be good at other things. He really wants an active social life, but he's a little too quiet and awkward for it, especially since dampening his powers makes him a little emotionless. But if he reaches 100, oh boy, duck and make sure your hair is protected. I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level is a fairly standard fantasy anime with a great to-the-point title. This entry is about Azusa Aizawa, a completely OP magical girl. Aizawa wanted to live that peaceful and stress-free life, but of course, over time, she found a family and went on all sorts of crazy adventures. She doesn't necessarily like combat, but if she has to, she can absolutely throw down, and no one can really get on her level. I mean, the title says it all. She's been practicing for 300 years to get that max level. She knows a thing or two. Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure was always overpowered in the sense that he could just keep coming back no matter what. But really, it's Dio's stand the world that makes the villain super overpowered. The world isn't just a melee powerhouse, but I mean, just look at that thing. But it can also stop time for everyone but Dio. That means the world can create a completely one-sided battle where Dio can get rid of his enemy without breaking a sweat. That's one of the best powers ever for an already pretty unstoppable villain. That Time I Got Reincarnated by a Slime stars one of the most overpowered protagonists of all time, the blue-haired Rimuru Tempest. So, if you can guess by the title, Tempest was once a salaryman in Japan, but then he was stabbed to death and reborn in a fantasy realm as a slime. Very soon, he amassed enormous power, mostly through his predator skill, and became a one-man army. He's practically immune to all sorts of damage and can defeat anything from demon lords to giant monsters. Be honest, how many of you tried One Punch Man's workout to see if you can get as strong as him? Yeah, because the chrome-domed hero is obviously powerful. I mean, he's One Punch Man. He can defeat anyone he wants, no matter how powerful, with one punch. That has left the hero a little lost and bored, at least at the beginning of the series, but throughout what we've seen so far, the show has done a great job in helping him find new joys or outlets with his life. And he's just a goof, but yeah, as far as overpowered characters go, he really earns his name. Jujutsu Kaisen's hero is a fairly balanced young man, aka he's pretty normal, but his goofy mentor, Satoru Gojo, yeah, he's definitely overpowered by comparison. Gojo is famous and often feared for his staggering powers that are based on infinity itself. He can block any attack by creating infinity between himself and his opponent, and can overload anyone's mind with infinity, which sounds quite painful. Yeah, can't really beat infinity, right? The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya stars a bizarre anti-hero in Haruhi, a seemingly ordinary high school girl who harbors hidden supernatural abilities. Haruhi runs the SOS Brigade, a school club that focuses on supernatural occurrences. Haruhi failed to find anything supernatural with her club, so her latent abilities created new realities where such things could happen after all, meaning she could create time loops, entire alternate realities, you know, all that jazz. So, Medaka Box is a somewhat obscure anime compared to, say, Jujutsu Kaisen or One Punch Man, but that doesn't alter the fact that it features one of anime's most overpowered characters of all time. He may not have any significant combat powers, but Misogi Kumagawa is insanely overpowered because he can wipe anything he chooses from existence. That's wild. The ability is called All Fiction, and if he's not careful, it would be easy for him to just obliterate the entire world. Bleach's first supervillain, Aizen, was incredibly tough to beat with his spells and all his illusions, but really not even Aizen could compare to the Quincy King Yhwach. After suffering defeat at the Soul Reaper's hands, Yhwach is back for another war, and he has the power of the Almighty backing him up. Yhwach is powerful on his own with his own abilities, but with the Almighty, he is literally beyond reality. The Almighty allows Yhwach to see and navigate all kinds of different futures and parallel realities. Overall, the Dragon Ball franchise is packed with strong fighters, but one character stands above all of them, and that's obviously Zeno. Even the gods of destruction like Beerus know that they are no match for this all-powerful being, aka the Lord of all existence. Zeno, as the Omni King, doesn't even need to fight at all. He can instantly erase anything from existence, meaning a person, a planet, a galaxy, or even a universe. I mean, he once wiped out 6 universes when he was in a bad mood, leaving just 12 behind, so make sure he's not in a bad mood, okay? If all these overpowered characters met each other and were forced to fight it out, who would come out on top? Do you have someone else that should have been included on this list? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching CBR. See you next time.